welcome to Healing Yoga. Thanks to Above and Beyond Cancer for offering this. I'm so grateful to be able to share yoga with you, and I'm so glad that you're here. We are going to be practicing a mudra today like we usually do, but I have it on a card, so I thought it might be interesting for you to see a picture of it. So I'll show it to you. So this is the card of the mudra. It's Prana Mudra, and it's gesture of the upward current of vital energy. And so you can see how the hand is held. And the mantra here is nourished with uplifting energy. I embrace life wholeheartedly. So this will be the mudra that we are going to be practicing today. If you choose, it's always your choice, it's your yoga. I have a little bit of a different mantra for us, but it goes along with that and somewhere to share about that with you. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat, whether you're on your mat or in a chair, and we will get started. And hopefully everybody can hear me okay. I do not have my headset today, but I'll use my classroom voice and hopefully all will be able to hear. I'm really glad that you're joining us today. Hi, Ron. Glad you're here. And welcome to anyone else who's joining us today. Let's go ahead and get started. And we begin, as we always do, with a time of centering. So in your comfortable seat, on your comfortable seat, however that may be, I invite you to just close your eyes for a moment. Close your eyes and just notice your breath. Where do you notice your breath? Where do you feel it? You don't need to change it, we're just noticing. Sometimes it's nice to place your hand on your chest and really get in tune with your breath through the rise and fall of your chest. Breath is life. Coming into this space, knowing there's nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. We're here in this moment to gather and practice together. You can place your other hand over your heart if you would like. And take a moment to place in your heart someone or something for which you are feeling grateful. In this moment, on this day, in this life. There is much to be grateful for, but sometimes in certain moments we just really feel especially drawn to gratitude for something in particular or someone in particular. And then when you're ready, you can relax your hands in your lap. And keeping the eyes closed, we'll do a scan of the body. You can put your palms face down in your lap. A bit more grounding that way. So we'll begin with our toes and work our way up the body to the crown, taking some time to notice any areas of discomfort or tension or pain in the body. Just noticing where and if they're there. So we'll just begin with the toes and the feet. Continue up the legs, the knees and the hips, the back body, the front body, the arms, hands and fingers, your shoulders, your neck and your head. And in a moment, as we take a long inhale in, we'll imagine sending our healing breath to those areas or throughout the whole body if there were not any specific areas for you. So let's inhale, nice and long. Sending that healing breath throughout the body, and exhale, releasing that tension or discomfort. Go ahead and do that a couple of more times. Then I invite you to practice the mudra for today, Prana Mudra, by placing the backs of your hands in your lap and connecting your thumb to your ring finger and your pinky. And extending the pointer and middle finger outward, sort of like a peace sign. And just holding that softly in your lap. This is Prana Mudra. And as you sit practicing this mudra with eyes closed and natural breath, I'd like to share with you a little bit more about it. The Prana Mudra is said to be one of the most important mudras due to its ability to activate dormant energy in your body. Prana is the vital life force within all living things. This mudra may awaken and enliven your personal prana, or energy, and put you more in tune with the prana and energy around you. It may enhance vitality, optimism, and enthusiasm. Which leads us to our mantra for today. I love the idea of feeling optimistic, knowing I can meet and overcome challenges more easily. I love the idea of feeling optimistic, and maybe that's enough for you. Knowing I can meet and overcome challenges more easily. It seemed like a beautiful day for optimism. So Prana Mudra, it is. You can continue to hold this mudra, or you can relax the hands. We'll be exploring Durga breath, or three-part breath. Place one hand on your chest and just take a breath in, just to your chest, and exhale. Now place your hands on the sides of your rib cage. And as we inhale, feel your rib cage expand. So a bit of a deeper breath, and exhale. And now place your hands on your beautiful belly. And as you inhale, take a deep inhale in, expanding the belly. Just really let it stick out there. And then as you exhale, you can bring it in. So let's breathe in. Feel that expansion all the way through the belly. And then exhale, bringing the belly in, releasing the air from the rib cage and the chest. Let's practice that again. And when you're practicing it, if you want to place your hands on those parts of your torso, you certainly can as you breathe in and out. Let's practice that a couple more times. Lovely. You can rest your hands back down in your lap. The toning of the bell invites us to begin our asana practice. We'll start with warming up the body. So extend both legs and bring your hands out in front of you. And we'll begin by curling and splaying our toes and our fingers. So squeezing them in and then creating space between them. Just do that a couple of more times. Then we'll focus on rotating the wrists and the ankles by doing some circles with our wrists and our ankles. Nice and slow, mindful and intentional. Exploring that range of motion. And then pausing and going the other direction. And then relax your hands in your lap. And before we bring feet to earth, bring them together in front of you, the sides of the feet together. And then we'll just take the soles toward each other. They're not going to touch. We simply are taking them toward each other. And when we feel that stretch on the outside of our ankle, and hold it for a bit, and then release. And we'll repeat that a couple of more times. So the inside of the feet are connected. We bring the soles toward each other, not touching. You won't need to touch them. And then back to center. Let's do that one more time. Let's just bring some movement and stretch and warmth and flexibility to that part of the ankle joint. And then we'll bring our feet to the earth. Come up on our toes. Lower to our heels. Raise the front of the foot. Bringing the toes back toward the shin and lowering. So inhale, up on the toes. And then as you slowly exhale, come to the heel and bring the front of the foot upward. So move between being on your toes, your heel, bringing the toes toward the shin. Just move through this with your breath. Inhaling as you rise, exhaling as you lower. We depend a lot on our feet and ankles, and so they deserve the love of a proper warm-up. Okay, let's move on up to the knee joint. Just bring some movement into the knee joint, get that synovial fluid flowing slowly. It's not a kind of thing where you're just dangling your legs off the side of the pool or something. Just bringing movement there, and then relaxing that knee and going to the other side. Now, it might be a different experience. On this side of my body, that's really not a healthy thing for me to take my knee to the extreme, even in the warm-up. So When I start to feel the pinch or the pain, then I go back the other direction. Someday I'll get a new knee and it'll be better, but for now I have to honor my body where it's at, and you need to always do that too. Let's focus on the hip joint. So I would invite you to kind of lean back in your chair or back against the wall if you're sitting on the floor, and just rotate that hip. Do some nice hip circles. It's nice to have the support of the chair. You could do it sitting up straight and tall and engage your core. Or you can do it like this. You decide. So now we've got both directions. If you haven't, go ahead and do that. Bring that down and get this thigh, a little massage, some warmth there. And we'll go to the other side. So if I'm practicing this sitting with a tall spine, it would look like this. But honestly, when I lean back, I can get more movement. I have more space. So I'm not limited by my leg being so close to the chair. And then go the other direction. And lower that foot to the earth. And then we'll just give that thigh a bit of rub. I like to use the heel of my hand and the palm. All right. And while we're at it, we'll take our palms over the kneecaps, the knee joint, just palming that whole joint, going in one direction and then going the other direction. Then we'll bring our heels to the hip creases. And we'll stir the pot a bit. So nice tall spine, first of all. Hinging forward from the hips, not the waist, but from the hips. And go front, side, back, side. So that spine remains long all the way from the base of the skull to the tailbone. Nice and long. And you can, when next time you come front, go back the other direction. And then we'll turn to a seated. And we'll warm the spine up in another direction with some cat-cow. So bring the heels of your hands to your hip creases, and as you inhale, bring your shoulders down and lift that heart. Let that heart expand outward and upward slightly as you inhale. And then as you exhale, you'll simply lean back, maintaining a long spine if you have any concerns with the spine. Otherwise, you can round. So move through a few of these with the breath, inhaling and exhaling. So continue to practice cat-cow for a few more breaths. It's a wonderful practice to do really any time of the day. And then come to center and back to neutral. We'll just do some nice shoulder rolls to the back. And you can make those rolls or circles as small or as big as you would like. And we'll pause and come the other direction. Excuse me. And then shrug the shoulders all the way up to the ears. Hold and then release. And as if someone's pressing on your shoulders. Do that again. Breathing in and out. You can bring your hands to rest on your lap. And let's say happy noon. I guess it's not really good morning. Good afternoon, whatever time of day it is you're watching this. We'll take the ear toward the shoulder. Nice and easy, not forcing. And just being here for a couple of breaths. Nice gentle stretch. Bring the head back to center and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Knowing, of course, that it might be a different sensation on a different side. Bring it back to center. We'll revisit the first side. Then just gently turn your head and take your gaze downward. Tucking that chin a bit and notice where you feel this. Be here for a few breaths. And take your gaze forward and back up to center. We'll do that on the second side. So first taking the ear toward the shoulder, finding the spot where you feel a stretch but no strain, and then take your gaze downward. Take the chin a little more if you want to, but no forcing. Gently bringing your gaze forward, and then your head back up to center. And then we'll just take a moment to look to our left, and then to the right. We'll do that one more time. So, options are always offered, seated or standing. But for our first asana of the day, Tadasana, or mountain, the cues are the same. So you can decide whether you want to practice this seated or standing. What feels best in your body today? And if you would like to practice standing, but you're not sure about balance, you can always just bring a chair right in front of you. And then that way you know it's there if you need to rest your fingertips on it. So let's take our feet about hip distance apart. If you're seated, your knees are bent. If you're standing, put a little micro bend in that knee. And we'll all root down into the 3 corners of the feet. So lift all 10 toes, root down under the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the heel. And as you do that, as you really root down, feel the engagement of the legs. You can relax the toes down, but keeping that engagement. And then draw in the waistband, relax your shoulders down and back, palms facing forward with arms at sides. And then just lower the chin a little bit and notice how you may feel more space in the back of the neck. But your gaze is forward. So find what you would like to place your gaze on, your drishti, your focal point. And practice that 3-part breath. Remembering, I love the idea of feeling optimistic, knowing I can meet any challenge more easily. And then from here, from our Tadasana, we'll begin some sun salutations. Again, you can do these seated or standing, either way. So maintaining the Tadasana, we'll inhale, take arms to sky. Exhale, half bend. So a half bend, if you're seated, will be about a 45-degree angle. Standing a half bend would be about a 90-degree angle. And then inhale, arms up. Exhale, back to that half bend, but this time take your hands behind you as if you're ready to take off and fly. Inhale up. Exhale, placing the hands in the sacrum and lifting the heart for a bit of a standing or seated cobra. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, half bend. You decide where you want to place the hands. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, take one hand out to the side. The other hand on the hip for very gentle twist. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, hands to heart center. For the next part, I am just going to pause the flow a bit to explore lunge. And to practice a lunge in the chair, you can practice it simply by bringing your knee up to your chest and pressing the foot into the floor that's behind you, or that's on the floor. It's not really behind you, it's in front of you. So that's one way you can practice a lunge seated. And if you're standing and stepping forward in a lunge feels a little unstable to you, you can simply step back and do your lunge with your hands on the chair. Because this is a balance position, which is great. But sometimes that's not what our body needs in the movement. And so this is a different way you can practice that lunge. Alrighty? So let's see how that might look in a flow. So inhale, exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, bring one knee to chest, or step one leg back, depending on if you're seated or standing. Exhale, back to mountain. Inhale, step the other leg back, or bring the other knee to chest. And exhale to mountain. Inhale, arms to sky. Exhale, half fold. Inhale, arms to sky. Exhale, twist to one side. Inhale. Exhale, gentle twist the other side. Inhale, arms to sky. Exhale, hands at heart center. Great, great. Sometimes we just have to pause and do a little exploring. Otherwise, we don't know if something will work for us. We'll move into taking the legs wide. And if you're standing, the front foot toes will point toward the short edge of the mat, and the extended leg will have the heel kind of angled a little bit towards the end of the mat, and that front knee is bent, torso facing log edge of your mat. So this might be what your foundation looks like if you're practicing standing. If you're practicing seated, you can see I really didn't have to change much, but I do need to change this leg because that was kind of torquey for the knee. All right, so seated or standing, feet pressing into the earth, arms at shoulder height or at W, depending on what you need, and gaze out forward. Feet pressing into the earth, strong and stable. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. And just take a couple breaths here. And then we'll bend that front arm, bring the forearm to the leg. And this hand can be here on the hip. Fingertips can be on the shoulder, or you can bring it overhead. The key is keeping this shoulder back so we're not collapsing forward. This is a side bend, Parigasana. Place your gaze wherever feels best in your neck. Hold this for a breath. Then we'll come back up to Warrior Two, and from there go into Reverse Warrior. And you'll need to consider what feels best in your body here as well. Let's inhale to Warrior Two. We'll flow between them now. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, Warrior Two. Exhale, reverse. And continue to move through these at your pace. And if there's one that is feeling especially good in your body today, you can simply hang out there. It's your yoga. Just moving with the breath. Inhaling to Warrior Two, and then exhaling to wherever you're moving from there. Next time you come to Warrior Two, pause, relax your arms down, and shake those out a little. And let's come back to Tadasana, just for a moment. And then we'll take our legs wide and go to the other side. So what feels good to you today? This is a different side, so you can explore. Same thing might feel better or not on that side of the body. On this side, knee is not going for that today, so here we are. All right, nice tall spine, arms out. Let's move into our first Warrior Two on this side. Gaze out over that bent knee, feet pressing into the earth. Getting stronger. Then slowly moving into Parikasana. And you have these same options. I'm just practicing what's best for my body today. Back up to Warrior Two. And let's go to reverse for a few breaths. You don't have to be looking upward. You can be looking downward or straight ahead. Honor the neck. And now we'll move between the three. Inhaling Warrior Two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, Warrior Two. Exhale, reverse. You know the routine. Move through it at your pace. Or you can just choose one if that feels good to you. And the next time you come into Warrior Two, we'll pause, relax the arms down, shake them out, and heel toe your feet back to center. If you have a block, it could be handy in this pose. Not required, but I'll demonstrate both options. So first of all, the posture we're exploring is Okatasana, or chair. So practicing chair posture, we begin in Tadasana. Feet pressing into the earth. And then if you're standing, you sit back a bit. If you're seated, we're already sitting, so instead we bring our arms up and come forward a bit, not too far. And if you're practicing standing, you sit back and bring the arms forward a bit. Now when I'm practicing this, my feet are pressing into the earth. So much engagement here in the legs, in your core, your arms. And then we'll relax and come back to center. So I'll show you what that looks like standing. So when I talk about sitting back, it's not a squat. I'm just barely sitting back. Okay, be mindful of the knees and then bringing the arms forward. Okay. Now engage the legs, engage your core, and then we'll come back to standing. Now where the block is nice, for some people at least, is that it gets your legs more involved in supporting you and it's less strain on your back. So if you put the block between your thighs, above the knees, not between the knees, okay? And then you're going to squeeze, you're going to sit back, you're going to squeeze that block. So you're squeezing the block between the thighs. And when you're doing this, it's just offering more strength and support as you hold the posture. And if the arms tire, you can bring your hands to heart center. There's nothing magical about them being outstretched. You could even just do maybe a gentle twist to one side, back to center, gentle twist to the other side, back to center, and then return to a standing position. Okay, we'll try it one more time. And if you've just done it standing, maybe you want to see what it's like seated. It's up to you. You get to decide. Maybe you want to use the block, maybe you don't. Okay. Here we are seated, so begin in Tadasana, squeezing the block, engaging the core, and sit back if you're standing. Just come forward, keeping the spine long, not dropping the head if you're sitting. And keep breathing. There's a lot going on in this posture. Okatasana comes from the Sanskrit Okata, which means fierce, proud, high, haughty, superior, immense, large, difficult. You get the idea. This pose is often called chair pose in English because it looks as if you're sitting in an invisible chair, or getting ready to at least. But this is no easy chair. It's more like a throne. I like that, yeah. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. This article went on, and that's all I'm sharing with you. I thought that was, I love those words. Fierce. Yeah, isn't that a nice, strong word? It can be fierce in a good way. All right, return to your Tadasana. And we'll do some moving mountain. This can be practiced seated or standing. If you're standing, you may or may not want to bring your chair in front of you, just in case you want the balance support. So we begin in Tadasana. As we inhale, we come up on our toes. As we exhale, we slowly lower our heels to the ground. So we'll just try that a few times. Inhaling on the toes, exhaling lower to the ground. You don't have to come up super high on your tippy toes. You can just, as soon as your heel lifts the floor, it's balance. So it doesn't matter if you're an inch or 3 inches off the floor. And now let's get the arms involved. So when we come up on our toes, we'll raise one arm at a time. And lower. Raise the other arm on your toes and lower. And we'll move between these. Keep a slight bend in the knee so you're not hyperextending. And notice how I'm keeping a focal point, because this definitely is a balance practice. It's helpful to have a focal point or a drishti that you can gaze at to help support your balance. And yes, even though both feet are on the ground, as soon as our heels peel off, it's balance work. Let's take both hands up. Hold it and slowly lower. All right, go ahead and transition to your chair. because these next postures are seated. Okay, take one leg off to the side of the chair. The front leg just stays right where it's at. It's not even going to move in the next two postures that we move between. And this leg is actually not going to move either. But what it is going to do is extend where you're up on your heel. I'm not sure if you can see my heel, so I'll move to this side to start with. So I still have a slight bend in the knee. This knee's forward, 90-degree angle. It's extended, torso forward. Now relax your shoulders down and back. And be mindful here, just place your fingertips right here on this shoulder. Now this hand is just going to slowly work its way down your leg until you feel that, oh, I definitely feel the stretch, the expansion. But when it gets to be too much, that's where you pause. And you can keep these fingertips here on your shoulder to remind you to keep that shoulder back. Or you can see what it's like to extend that arm over your head. This is Parikasana, gate. And then we'll slowly bring our hand back. And then we'll slowly come upward, nice and gentle. Drop this hand, and you can use the chair as support if you would like. Then you'll bring in the other arm upward, so palm facing down till shoulder height, and flip it. And bring it upward. Now your gaze could be upward, it could be straight ahead, or it could be downward. This is Ardha Mandalasana, or half circle. Some people might call this half moon. Keeping that shoulder back. It's so easy to come forward and then come back up and relax your hands down. Now just move between the two with the breath a few times. So inhale and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now come to center. Heel toe that extended leg back to front. So you might notice some similarities between the little warrior dance we did at the beginning of class. They're different, it's different, but there are some things that are similar about it. Always making sure that you adapt so it feels good in your body. Let's go to the other side now. So take the other leg out to the side, extend it. You might have to shift around on your chair a little bit to find a position that feels good in your body. Torso forward. The shoulder back, and we're just going to gently let our hand guide us. You might be here. We're not trying to touch our foot. That's not at all what this is about. We're going to the part where we feel the expansion in the outside of the body. It still feels stable. And you can take your gaze wherever feels best. Then we'll very slowly and gently bring our arm down. Bring the other arm up toward the middle. And move into, not reverse, to half circle. And now now we'll gently come out of that and we'll move between the two. So we'll inhale to Parigasana. Exhale to Ardha Mandalasana. Just very gently. With the breath, that front foot, the bent knee is pressing into the earth. We'll do one more. Really getting into the side body today. Opening things up. Come back to center. Relax your arms down. And heel toe the feet back to center. And find your Tadasana or mountain posture. Now from here, bring one foot more toward the center in front of you. Cross the other leg over or cross at the ankles and squeeze the thighs together. Okay. Whatever leg is on top, the opposite hand will come on that knee. Okay. And you'll place your hand on your hip. Okay. And then you just twist toward it. Nice tall spine. And then we'll allow things to relax. Come back to center. Uncross the legs. And we'll go to the other side. Opposite, whatever leg is on top, opposite hand on the knee. Hand on the hip. Nice tall spine. And we'll just gently and slowly twist. And our gaze is toward the side. That elbow may be behind you, shoulder might even be a little bit, but your head and neck are gazing at this toward the side. And keep breathing. And then just gently relax everything and bring it all to center. Uncross the legs. Let's just take the legs wide for a moment, and if you like to use a block in a wide-legged forward fold, you're welcome to do that, or you can always just rest your hands or forearms on the thighs, and we'll just hinging from the hips, nice long spine, just coming forward, not dropping the head to wherever, about halfway down, so we're not taking the head below the heart. So a nice little forward fold here. Keep that neck aligned with the rest of the spine. And then we'll gently, slowly press ourselves back up. No hurry. Lovely. And now it's time for Shavasana. So find a place where you can comfortably rest, be warm enough. Maybe you're going to lie down on your mat, your couch, your bed, your lazy boy, or maybe you're going to practice in the chair. It's up to you. But Shavasana is a really important time as you're settling in, for us to allow time for the body to absorb the practice and all that you did today. So if you are practicing in the chair, I would invite you to scoot back so that your back and your torso is fully supported. You can almost slouch if you want to. Okay? Slouching, okay, in Shavasana. Just have something to rest your feet up on, a footstool, a block, a couple of pillows, just so that your legs can splay and you're on the sides of your feet. So that part of your body is completely supported as well. And I invite you to close your eyes and just feel the tension just move out of your legs so that they feel limp. There's nothing for them to do right now but to be completely soft. Your seat and back are supported. Shoulders, let them fall even further from your ears. Resting the palms upward, whether they're on your mat or your lap. This is more a gesture of receiving. Let your neck soften. Soften your scalp, your forehead, the area around your eyes, the area around your ears, the cheeks, and the jaw, letting that lower jaw open slightly. I will watch the time for us, and we'll tone the bells. When the time to close arrives. You can continue resting in Shavasana if you would like. And if you're ready, you can just bring gentle movement into the fingers and the toes, the hands and the feet, the wrists and the ankles. Bend one knee and then the other, bringing the feet to earth. And if you're lying down, gently roll to one side and rest there for a moment. And then extending the top leg, use your hands to press yourself up to a seated position. And if you're already seated, just come forward in your chair a bit. Return to our position from the beginning of class. I love the idea of being optimistic, knowing I can meet and overcome challenges more easily. And with the soft gaze, we'll inhale, take our arms to sky. Exhale toward the earth. Breathing in, gathering up all the goodness. Breathing out, releasing what does not serve. Breathe in, bring the palms together above your beautiful crown. And slowly bring them toward heart center, gently brushing your face with your fingers as you do so. I'm honored to share this practice with you. I hope you found it to be a benefit. May you be safe, may you be well, and may you be filled with peace. Namaste. Thank you for joining us today. Take care, and I'll see you next time.